Buenos you guys, welcome back to the Black Jersey. I'm Max and I'm the host of this channel. Goodness me, was England versus Wales filled with drama. I thought this game was rather boring throughout the first half. I woke up at 5 AM to watch it, so I was worried I was going to go back to sleep. But goodness me, did this game come to life in the second half. In the first minute, everything started with England having quite enormous momentum. They were penalised 10 metres in front of the Welsh try line though, and as Wales get their first possession of the match, it's very short-lived thanks to an Itoje turnover. Alex Cuthbert didn't release. I do think Alex Cuthbert though had a very good game, and I'm happy I'm wearing a 2010 Wales shirt to remind myself of vintage Alex Cuthbert from 10 years ago. The guys really had the highs and lows of Test rugby, so it was very good to see him finally reach 50 Test matches. Because Cuthbert didn't release when Itoje was getting that turnover, Marcus Smith kicks a penalty in the 3rd minute, so the scoreline is 3-0. England going at a point a minute. Goodness me, this could be a massive blowout, guys. 4th minute, Tane Basham also doesn't release at the ruck. Turnover goes to Alex Dombrand, who was my personal man of the match. They did go for Smith though, and he chooses to take another kick. He's now kicked 2 from 2, and the scoreline is 6-0 after 5 minutes. In the 16th minute, it's quite clear to me, England's playing some very offload heavy rugby. Wales are having a very hard time competing with that, and Wales, in order to counteract it, are putting a bit too many players into the breakdown, if you ask me. Francis doesn't roll away from the ruck, Tom Francis that is, and Smith is taking his 3rd shot at goal from 38 metres. He misses this one though, so he's 2 from 3 and the scoreline remains 6-0. Harry Randall I thought had an alright game, but I think it was very good to leave Ben Youngs on the bench because of Randall's inexperience. Harry Randall did a really good job with the core roles of his position, but I think that even though Ben Youngs became England's most capped ever player today, it was good to have the old head on the bench to close things out. So yeah, in the 19th minute, Randall kicks the ball into the Welsh 10 metre line. Malins tackles Liam Williams into touch. A very mixed game for the both of these two. Malins had a few knock-ons, whereas Williams, you'll be hearing his name later. 21st minute, England take up the line out from 5 minutes, and after some phases, they go a bit nuts, just like the birds outside you might be able to hear, and they send Ewells over the try line, but Wyn Jones has held Charlie Ewells up. Liam Williams is yellow carded just here because he's knocking the ball out of Ellis Genge's hands as Genge is attempting to drive over himself. Tom Francis and Owen Watkin at this stage also have to be subbed off for HIA, so Jonathan Davis comes on whereas Leon Brown does. Now that Wales are down to 14, I really respect the tactic they brought out as Leon Brown joins the scrum. After 4 resets, Brown really one-ups Kyle Sinclair at scrum time, and after 3 resets, totally collapsed. Wales genuinely slowed it down so much that England couldn't even score any points while Williams was off. Luke Cowan-Dickie though, concerningly in the 26th minute, was subbed off too. He appears to have a leg injury. Wales forwards off their feet at the ruck in the 29th minute, so at least Marcus Smith does get a kick at goal as Williams is coming back on. Penalty goal means Smith now has 100 points for England as well, so not too bad after so few test matches. I think he could possibly reach 1,000 one day. Toby Faletau in the 34th minute, he drops the ball out of the field while Wales are under advantage. Wales get the scrum and a kicking war starts to finish it off. Excellent kick by Henry Slade into the Welsh 10 metre line. England get a 5 metre drive in front of the Welsh line, and goodness me, I just love the 50-22 law. England and Wales both used it to perfection in this game. Excellent turnover though in the 36th minute by Toby Faletau to shut down this maul by England. A genuine try saver for Wales by Faletau, who I think had a pretty decent return after being injured for a bit rather. Wales's defence was just too strong for England to score any tries, so Smith has to take another shot at goal to end off the first half. No tries for either team. So at the halftime scoreline, it was 12-0 for England. And as you can see, what jumps out at you immediately for the halftime stats by Ultimate Rugby is that England had 63% possession, so they were massively dominating the Welsh in that aspect. Goodness me, the scrum though, not very good there. Wales did excellently at scrum time thanks to Wyn Jones and Thomas Francis. They really won up to the English over there, and probably one of the strongest elements of the Welsh game right now. They do need Ken Owens and Alan Wyn Jones back though, just to have a full pack once again. To start off the second half, in the 44th minute, Ryan Elias overthrows the Wales lineouts, and Dombrand picks this up and he runs in to score the opening try at last. Dombrand is the best performing Welsh player on the pitch at this stage, and Curry comes off for Sam Simmons at half time, which I wasn't really too sure what was going on there. Hopefully Curry isn't injured. So Marcus Smith converts Alex Dombrand's try to make the scoreline 17-0. Wales then have 5 straight minutes of possession, but they concede the turnover to Itoje, 5 metres in front of England's line, so that denies them there. Randall kicks downfield, Wales regain possession, but concede a 9th penalty, so Dombrand can get his second turnover. I then see this quite funny incident. The camera cuts to Prince William and his wife Kate, the Duchess. William is wearing a Wales scarf, whereas Kate, who is the new patron for the RFU, is wearing an England flag with their son George sitting between them. Very entertaining from the royal family over there. 53rd minute, Max Malins then has no choice but to take the ball into touch to stop Liam Williams scoring after an awesome kick by Dan Biggar. Wales take another 5-metre line out, they go wide, and Josh Adams crosses the line to score his 18th try for Wales on the left wing. Very, very clinical passing on the way to getting it out wide to Adams, I think. Biggar does miss the conversion though, so Wales are still losing by 5-17. England are then penalised for an offside in the 58th minute. And so, yeah, Wales have to take yet another 5-metre line out because they're finding it very hard to really get up England's way genuinely. Biggar does spot a great gap 3 minutes later in the 61st minute though. He passes to Tompkins, who runs in to score from 7 metres. I think Nick Tompkins was another very good Welsh player rather. I'm happy I'm wearing this Welsh jersey. Yeah, so Biggar converts this time, but Wales are still losing 12-17. 4 straight minutes of England possession then gets wasted because Kyle Sinclair has a knock-on in the 66th minute. Cuthbert counter-attacks, but Jack Nowell proved Eddie Jones correct. He is indeed a worthy flanker. The memes are reality, my man. And he gets a pretty good turnover. Smith takes another shot at goal, and the penalty allows him to stretch the scoreline out to 20-12 for England, so they are ahead by 8 points. Adam Baird is then penalised in the 71st minute at the line-out for illegally challenging Nick Ezekwe, who's just come on as a substitute. Smith has another chance at kicking the goal. This time he's doing a penalty from 40 metres, and it's a very good chance rather to get the scoreline out of reach. Marcus Smith then slots his second penalty from the last 10 minutes, and so that pretty much puts the scoreline out of reach, or so we thought. Drama heats up and the clock goes past the 80th minute. Before this occurs though, Josh Adams is taken off for an HIA after a pretty bad head clash, and Thomas Williams then runs over from 5 metres in the 79th minute, stepping Youngs and Ezekwe to score the 3rd try for Wales. Biggar converts this one as well, so Wales are losing by only 19-23 with a minute left. Before the kickoff happens, the clock does go to the red, but the ref rules that there is still time. As of the 83rd minute, Wales had run 17 phases before an apparent knock-on. The ref goes to check with the TMO though. Turns out Courtney Laws has made a deliberate knockdown. Probably not one of the wisest things you want to do when you return back from injury. Other than that, I do think Courtney Laws displayed some good leadership though. Yes, the foul play is found, like I said. Wales choose to go wide after another line out, but Itoje wins a third turnover of the match. Not too bad to get 3 in a single game, and England kick the ball straight out to finish off the game and win with that 4-point margin. So yeah, final score was 23-19 for England. Very clinical game from both sides in the second half. Wales were pretty much a no-show for the first, but goodness me, did they turn it on in that second. I thought the game was very entertaining, and England could possibly still be in to win a title if they can beat Ireland and France. Very difficult thing, and for Wales though, it's pretty much unassailable, so they'll have to try again next time. I think the biggest problem with Wales right now is Wayne Pivac as the head coach, and I've expressed previously that they only won all those trophies in the 2010s because Warren Gatland is the greatest head coach in European history, even though he's a former All Black. Goodness me, guys, what a game. What a game. As I said, my personal man of the match is Alex Stonbrand. As you can see, there were some really good stats at the full-time whistle as well. Ultimate Rugby is where I get all my stats from, so visit them to get some pretty good stats. I just want to throw out a shout out to my patrons over here before the video ends. If you're ever keen to support the Black Jersey elsewhere, I've got an Instagram account with 13,000 followers. As I said, we do have the Patreon and a subscribe star if you don't like the Patreon. If you just want to do a one-off donation kind of thing, I do have a PayPal tip jar in the description. And of course, we have a Discord server if you're ever keen to have a yarn about rugby to a group of people. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. England and Wales had a very good game. Cheers, guys.